So winter is upon us, round 10, and Central District have travelled to the parade as moist as it is, and Schaefer gets the first tap away. Slide in by Borkel, and he's going to get the first free kick of the match. Not quite as wet as it was round 19 last year, when we had about 30 centimetres of water all over the deck, but this first entry is up there, and Mark Conway's taken a pretty good mark. So Norwood yet to touch the ball, and Conway has a look at them from about 35, perhaps 40 metres out. Ross Dillon's with us. Can he carry the distance?
Can he carry the distance? I'll let you know in about 30 seconds.
Of course he will.
Good diplomatic answer. With a dry ball, it shouldn't be much of a problem. And I guess you'd call that an opportunity missed, because with the dry ball, a first entry, they should have got it. One behind only, David.
6-goal straight he kicked against South. Triggy, he's blotted the copybook today already. Dantokia to Robinson now. I just wonder whether Robinson will stay on Conway. Certainly there's a clear disparity in height as Robinson goes through half back. Eastall front position from behind the big spoil. It's off the hands and out of play. Let's just have a look at Robinson. There's Anthony Harvey back today for the Redlegs, recovered from that hamstring injury. We'll cover the height differences. Perhaps Ross Dillon might have a look at that for us, between Scotty Robinson and Mark Conway. High above the top of his Bowman. Gets it down. Harvey, cleverly done. Through goes Groudon. Forward to Tyson. Now Cunningham. This kid's a ripper, this fellow. To half forward. Look, he's done it beautifully. Sending it up to Reed on the half volley. Just missed Giorgio on the run through. Stevens needs Laird it was. Worked hard. The bowling ball goes through the midfield. Cotton clean bowled. Now an opportunity for Eastall. Tomic got the ball through. Look at the physical work out there. It's tough. It's wet football. This is a great test of skills as Cook on the left boot goes long and low, and Flood's got it just inside 50. Marked it right in front of Stevie Daniels, and that's a good battle, that duo today.
Flood's kicked numerous goals this year.
22, Ross.
22, and I'm sure he'll make the distance.
Yeah, she did right. He knows how to kick a long ball. He's played mainly as a defender for Essendon, but the Bulldogs have found him in the forward line. Well what's that? The Hail Mary, up and under. He's kicked it higher than he has longer. It's lobbed right in the square. Robinson goes forward. Vardy, who kicked 3 last week, goes for it. Cunningham feeds it off now. Opportunity for Dickey to the outer side, and it's out of play. Well, Ross Dillon, interesting difference in styles. The Redlegs playing the handbally football. Central's just playing hard, tough, at-the-body football.
Yes, I always like watching Girdham. He's straight at the football. Yes, I haven't seen a lot of either side this year, but in these conditions, and yeah, in these conditions, it's let's see what happens in the first 10 minutes.
This is Tyson, middle of the ground, up inside half forward. Now the lead is on from Reed, and he's got it.
What a bad kick, that.
I must admit, at the other end of the ground, you posed the question about Conway being picked up by Robinson. It just looks a bit better to me with Daniels on Conway and Robinson on Flood, but
I'd agree with you, Triggy.
Decided to go the other way. Reed from right on 50.
It's close.
It is. Very close. In fact, it looks better than that. No, it doesn't. One behind only. The scores are tied away.
Scott Robinson at full-back. He went to the Sydney Swans for a year, and I would have hoped that he'd be a really good player by now, but he tends to be...
floats a bit.
Yes.
Scotty Lee from full-back throws it out. Giorgio at the bottom of the back, claimed by Girdham. Now, this is the bloke you like, Ross. Girdham, pretty tough at the footy.
Yeah, he's always been a very good example for Centrals.
Great skipper, isn't he? Miller.
He and McIntosh are very similar.
Inspirational leaders for their clubs. Cotton gets through, did it pretty well in the finish. Stevens, the runner was McGowan, did well with the wet ball. Look at a Raider. There's a few AFL eyes on him, I can tell you. Giorgio just missed it, but got grabbed as he went for the ball. Borkel came up with it, but the free kick's going back to little Johnny Giorgio. Just inside the 50-metre square, a long ball through half forward. Miller's the target, took front position pretty well. Rowe roved it beautifully. Scotty Lee couldn't get there, and short to the pocket. The kick was a shocker. The target, of course, was Nathan Bassett, and missed the target pretty comprehensively.
Now, they've put Jason Miller to centre half forward in a move that is a little like, I guess, what North Adelaide have done with Glenn Sanford from centre half back to centre half forward. Miller's been pretty competitive.
I'd like to see him take the mark, the one that he had the opportunity to take right then and there. They're the ones that he has to take or he has to direct the ball off to other players coming past.
If I could just interrupt, Triggy, Robinson's listed as 186 centimetres, Conway 187 centimetres. If that's right, I'll go he.
I'd say Conway's more into the 190s and probably 195, if you don't mind me saying.
Dead right.
Eastor out the back. Play around the body, looked like Dickey on the far side of the ground. Up towards centre half 40 goes, spoiled away by Laird. Play on. Well, I thought the ball had stopped anyway. It's going to be called play on. Number 4 is Growden. He has a look at them. He's a pretty class act, this boy. And he kicks Norwood first. 5.5 minutes in, 1-1, plays one behind.
Fair indication, Ross, that this guy, after missing the early part of the season with a shoulder injury, is named in the state squad. You can see there with the skills, he's worthwhile in this squad.
Yes, had the opportunity to kick a goal and did just that. I think that end is favoured probably by a 2-goal breeze. So you saw the chaps at the other end, the Central's fellows at the other end drop short.
At the bounce, Eastow thumps it forward, did pretty well. The big man, Scotty Lee, decides that off the carpet's the right way to go. Charges at it and belts it out wide. Dickey and Stevens go at it. Support comes from Jared Cotton. Fighting hard for it. Dickey did pretty well, didn't he? 2 against 1, he wrapped it up.
Dickey and Stevens have manned up?
Yep.
Dickey was, I think, Norwood's second best player behind Pascoe with 10 goals last week. Look forward to watching him.
He's a very exciting young player. We saw him at Prospect just a few weeks ago.
Yep, and I saw him here a couple of weeks before that. And he looked to have plenty of pace, that's for sure. And didn't find much of the ball that day, but when he got it, gee, he showed some explosive pace. The Schaefer kick is a long one. Daniels thumps it towards the line, going defensively. 38 was Tomic. It's Abraham Tomic. Have you seen much of him, Tricky?
No, in a word.
Ross,
I haven't.
No,
No, he's
have not seen him before.
just a youngster up from the underage. It shows a bit of form too, a bit of dash.
Good crowd in, despite these fairly damp conditions. Boundary thrown, far side. Eastor round the body, towards centre wing it goes. Miller's providing the competition once again. Tyson hands it off to Harvey, who was so damaging their round 1 clash where the legs got up across the top, and it's taken by Damien Hicks, who's playing at fullback this afternoon. He and Wakeland could be interchangeable at either end of the ground. Round the body goes Saywell, can't do much with it, it was smothered. Pushes it forward. He and Cotter fight over the footy. In the end, Craig Cotter's got it at half-back, short pass, has a look at Stevens. Not quite. Out the back it goes. McIntosh is there. So too Tyson off the ground. Taken by Cotton. Round the body. That one will take some marking right down towards the front. Spoiled away. Green. So too Clements works back and Clements concedes it. It was a long way from goal. I didn't think he probably needed to do that.
It's better than having a goal kick against you, Triggy.
You wouldn't have had many kicked against you, Ross, would you?
I could tell you some stories about it. I like what Miller at centre-half forward did a minute ago. Trapped the ball and kept it in play going forward. That's what the centre-half forward's got to do.
Gave it off to Harvey. This is Jerry, Dan Tokia from fullback. Now, this looks like a set play to me, or are they waiting for a player to come off with the blood rule? Yep. Thanks, Ross. Flood it is, who copped one in that last 5 for the ball. Just a little bit of sauce on the nose. He's tough, though, that fellow. Another country boy from...
Conniver.
Yep.
Bring tears to your eyes on a day like this, though, wouldn't it?
Roger Merritt country.
Correct, they breed him tough up there. Jason Ray comes on. He'll go straight to full forward. He's played that position, of course, with some distinction in the under-19s particularly, but I don't think he's got more than a couple in senior company this year. The long kick out, Saywell, whose form's been terrific the last few weeks. Giorgio over the top to McIntosh. First touch for the skipper. A long ball through the midfield. Miller's the target. A Raider got there first. Pushes it wide into ground. Now Growden needs to work hard for it. I think Cotter got him. Just picked him off, didn't he? And forced the bounce.
Yes, good attack on the ball by Hereda.
It clash with between he and Miller's going to be a blinder. You're saying that Miller's started well, while Hereda's very much an undersung player. As the umpire bounces it up or balls it up just inside the centre square. Gurdon looks to be on McIntosh at the other end. Harvey, quick kick forward. As I said, he was so damaging that first game. Look at that for a leap up over the top. Nathan Bassett's taken a blinder.
Great mark. Now let's see him convert.
Lucky there's been a bit of rain. It just softened the impact for him.
Makes it harder to get a footing to get up there too, Triggy.
What does?
Softer ground, it's difficult to get a footing,
Not
get a
when your
leap.
legs work okay. Bassett.
Nice kick.
Beautiful legs. So the legs have started well. 2-1 to 2 points.
The kick being the conversion to goal being the most important thing.
Yes, that's right. How often you see it where a player takes a big one, goes back and then makes a mess of it. Very important once you do that. You take, well, euphemistically called a soft one in front. You go back and kick the goal. Just gives you a bit of a kick start.
It's those ones that you miss that you're looking for at the end of the game.
So 10 minutes into the game, the Redlegs 2 goals, 1 lead the Bulldogs. 2 points as Girdham handballs it into space. Troy Clements gathers it in, it's taken to ground. There's no free kick. There's a bit of feeling starting to muster out there in the middle too, by the way, as Green just gathered him in, takes him to ground and upends him. Schaefer, Eastor got it down. Borkwill, a hurried kick forward. Oh, good mark, Vardy. He's been pretty dangerous in recent weeks. It's a 25-metre penalty. No, the umpire said it was touched off the boot. And Jerry was terrific, wasn't he? He was right up to it and just smothered Vardy and made sure that he couldn't get clear of that ball. And I think Vardy thought that he'd marked the ball. Eastow thumps it down. Vardy works hard for it. So too McIntosh. Now finally it comes to Jerry, to Troy Clements. Upended as he kicks the ball away, and it's a free kick.
Well, they've been penalised though.
Well, it wasn't after he kicked it, it was as he kicked it, so that's why the kick comes back. The crowd thought it was an FAD. Nothing doing, says umpire Abbott. And Clements chips it off to Giorgio.
Is that not, though, to advantage on the far side?
No, we didn't know who was going to get it, so that's the right decision, by the way. Might be a bit technical, but it's dead right. Miller.
Well done, Miller.
Yeah, he's giving a presence in that position, Ross, isn't he?
He's a big, strong fellow. That position's most important.
Tell Dickie, gee, he needs to sort of blue mouth guard.
And has his socks down as well. Far side. McIntosh is doing battle with McGowan. Macca just gives a couple of little ones in there, make sure that the truck knows that he's about the place. Norwood start to build. Tyson across the top. This is a pretty tough one to take because coming down pretty hard was Hereda. Quick handball across the top to Giorgio. Sewell has to stand his ground. Does it pretty well. Comes out to ground and snaps it around the body. And he's missed.
Straight over the top of the post, I thought.
2-2 to 2 points.
Norwood man might say that, Ross. I think the people might suggest the goal up. I was right.
Miller again featured in that at the start of that play, getting the ball moving.
Bowden's one of those tough players from Whyalla. Plays the game pretty tough. There's not much of him. So is this bloke, Scotty Lee, the tater, as an agitator. 160 games for the club since coming across from Hawthorn. Played for 2 AFL clubs. Now called to move it on quickly. This is Cook. Pretty good effort working deep into defence too. He's been dangerous in the early part of this year around the goal. Schaefer front position. Miller spoils. He's been instrumental, Miller, hasn't he? Rowe got through, did it beautifully. Off it goes to Reid. Cunningham just needs to juggle it and shoot for goal. He does it, but he misses. Looking for a free kick too, the little fella, but he didn't get it. It's a point.
Miller again involved, punching the ball forward from the kick in.
Extremely large man, isn't he?
He's very strong too. But in previous games I've seen him at centre half back. I haven't seen him at centre half forward before.
Scotty Lee, not a bad alternative. Plays it to himself, just gets around the player, and then tracks across half back and puts it right in towards the middle. McGowan. I don't think across the top would have been the best option there to Stevens, despite providing something pretty reasonable. Far side, this is Wakeland, the smooth moving Wakeland up towards half forward. Vardy's there. Dantocchi will have his hands full with the young Vardy. Well taken by Cotton across the top to Vardy. Pushing the back, no such thing. Oh, that was a throw if ever I've seen one. The umpire let him get away with it though, and Norwood clear it towards centre wing. And Miller, as Ross has suggested, is everywhere.
I agree, Stephen, that hand pass there looked a fair bit like a crow throw to me.
Comment Ross Dillon, former Norwood champ. Girdham flicks it out to Stevens. Did well to evade the tackle and got it off to this is upended. Well done, Tomic. What a commitment that was at the ball. And now Rowe goes to ground, but watch this. Talk about putting your body right on the line. That was fantastic.
Both players can be commended there, and both came up out of it okay.
Surprisingly. Eastor.
Rowe's getting kicks early.
So he should. Good player. Girdham. got crunched. Cotter, who's a vastly improved player, puts it inside half forward, but Conway just has too much height for Robinson.
Robertson was trapped under the ball and couldn't make it back.
David Flood about to re-enter as Jason Ray goes to the ground. Now, I'm not sure it's very smart that he goes off right at this point in time. You just saw Robinson giving away the height there. As I say, it's not that smart that Ray should be going off now because they'd lose one, but all things being equal, Conway should carry the distance without a problem from 40. He does it, and he kicks the doggies first.
You notice Gurdon back on the wing there, taking quite a while to get up, but he was involved in the start of that play that finished up as a goal, which happens at Central, I'm sure, plenty of times.
Now, I think the theory is that Robinson's good in the air, and maybe he was the foil for Conway, but I think Conway's just a bit big and strong for Robinson.
You may well be right, but I thought Robinson could have got back and made more of the contest.
A fair comment.
Back in the centre, 2-3 plays 1-2. That's the 7 points in it. Stephen Rowe is doing well. That's a marvellous little smother by Saywell. Harvey off hands and Clements. Clements gets the kick away. McIntosh caught one, by the way, in that little exchange. Yes. I don't think he enjoyed it.
Didn't worry about it, though, did he?
Went chasing, but here's Cunningham to get another one. Another poster, that is. He's got it behind.
2 points he's got.
2-4 plays 1-2. Double the score.
I agree. I think McIntosh got one there, but I think during the day they'll give and take.
Yeah, in fact, he took off. I thought he was going to chase the player and just ran straight past him. So
I don't think they'll let him unsettle him. This is McGowan on the left boot. It's a good kick to Wakeland too, wasn't it?
Yep. Well played by Wakeland to make it space.
Right down the middle, the Bulldogs. It's a fair effort. Conway was pulled off that ball, by the way. They might have made a change. Play on set the umpire. This is Robinson. Didn't need to go off the ground, did it in the finish to McIntosh, who drills it long and wide to Donald Dickey at half back. Oh, Donald just drills one, a long ball to half forward. Bassett was caught on the half volley with such a long penetrating kick. It just slewed off the ground in the wet and just drilled him. Couldn't control it, and Miller sees the ball across the line.
Big kick by Donald Dickey. But I like the way that Wakeland dropped down into space there. It was good football thinking.
It's a little fresh in the grandstand as Schaefer, with the gloves on, goes into battle with the heavyweight. And that's Miller. Quick kick forward, well marked by McGowan. The central centre square certainly has some potency. And across centre wing.
See Robertson up on the wing now.
This looks as though he might be picking up Borkwell as well. This is Andrew on centre wing. Thumps it up to centre half forward where he should normally be. Eastorf can't quite take it. Probably should have as well. Ross off hands. Conway, it looked like. Off hands. Couldn't do much with it. It was productive. Smothered. The little things will be important. Quick hands in there. You don't need too many. Just one or two quick ones to get it out. Harvey holding the man. Stevens is going to get a free kick. Now be quick, Scott. Does so quickly forward. Cotton's going to be there one-on-one now. He's going to be tracked down. Needs to get a quick kick forward. It is a very ugly old kick. It goes out the back though. Flood. It'll be pretty special from there. Round the body. And he's put it up in the late towers.
If he'd have kicked that, it would have been the goal of the year.
Central's attacking at the moment, the last 5 minutes.
It's one of the things the Bulldogs will do. They just keep coming at you all day. It doesn't matter what the scoreboard is. And at the moment, it's 2-4-16 to 1-2-8. Norwood have an 8-point advantage from behind. Cotter just missed it, read it beautifully, but couldn't quite take it. Borkwell to the line. Safety first, not a bad idea, is it? And that is a philosophy of the Bulldogs. If they're in doubt, they just play the boundary line.
Particularly when you're outnumbered like that.
They slow the opposition down. It's not a bad ploy. It's not pretty football, but it's pretty effective.
Robertson now sitting on Gurdon. And Norwood have taken Daniels back there.
East out, right down the front. Well, Schaefer was a little frustrated then. I'm not sure that those Tiggy Touchwood free kicks in the wet are the right way to go either. Miller down. Cotter playing very well from half back. Schaefer under a lot of pressure. McGowan needed to unload it quickly. Did it well in the finish. This is Saywell. 30 possessions last week. Back to Cotter, who's looming as one of the best for the Bulldogs already. Another possession in the first term. Green under pressure from Clements. Now Cotton, who's also playing well. Flicks it out to Borkwell. He's been a lively player. Now through half forward. Flood an opportunity. And he's pushed in the back.
Well,
the umpire's right there.
A bit lucky. I thought he might have thrown it actually, but the Redlegs have played on. We'll have to go back.
let's say I think the push came first, the throw came second.
Sure. Good call, Ross Dillon, former Norwood champ and reserves premiership coach too, Ross. Well, you be the judge. Here it comes. Bang, there's the grab and there's the push back simultaneously. Mick Abbott was right on the spot though. And Flood will kick for goal from 50. And you've got to suggest that his earlier kick from 50, which lobbed 15 metres out, didn't get warm, but
kicking into the breeze here.
Yeah, he is a prodigious kick. This one he keeps it a little bit lower. It'll lob right in the square. Conway's up, punch to ground. Well done, Bowman. Off hands at Stantokia towards the line. Donald Dickey covers it up, feeds it forward to McIntosh. Mac is warming to this game, by the way. Starting to look like a man possessed. The long rake, low torpedo, and Cotter. That's the second crunch he's had. A couple of car accidents already this afternoon for him. Boom. And Miller is a semi-trailer.
Exactly.
With a big bull bar on it.
He's tough, Cotter, isn't he? He's had a couple.
Yeah. He gets up all right, though, to be honest.
He's very strongly built.
21 minutes have gone in the first term. First playing third here at the parade. Central District sitting with 7-1 on top of the ladder. And this game will prepare them very nicely for their bout with Port Adelaide next week.
I would say at the 20-minute mark, with this 2-goal or so breeze, 3-goal breeze blowing, that Centrals I wouldn't be too unhappy at this stage. Nor would it need 3 goals to really, another 3 goals to capitalise, I'd say.
Here's a chance.
Here's a chance.
This is Rowe around the body. The break just hit the post. The second time they've done it so far this term.
Yes, there's a couple of goals they could have done that would have optimised use of the breeze.
7 shots to 3.
That's right. 5 goals too would be far better.
Nor the only side, of course, to unsettle Centrals in the opening round. Each club played each other. Herrera up, brought it to ground, kept it in front of him, but it's picked off by McGowan. Now Gurdon, look at the run from defence. This is where the Bulldogs rip sides apart. Vardy, a long ball through half forward towards Green. Clements took front position and did pretty well. Cook goes after it. Stantokia playing a terrific game across the line.
I'll tell you one thing, Ross, I think Norwood have gone out with a philosophy in front of a big crowd of really taking Central on physically. I've seen Rowe, and we've talked about Miller, and McIntosh have crunched them, haven't they? They're taking it up to them physically.
I think if, in those 3 names, that's the way those players play normally anyway. I was just watching the Norwood Ruck Rovers and Rovers as to whether they're actually following up enough.
What's the answer?
Well, at the moment, I think Centrals have been in attack more in the last 7 minutes. I think Centrals are getting on top in that respect.
Fair enough.
They've got some quality in there, haven't they?
Both sides, by the way.
Well, both sides, but Central in that first game when they were beaten fell away. Players like Cook and McGowan, Gurdon weren't seen in the second half when Norwood clawed their way back in. Ever since, those players mentioned, plus Scott Stevens and James Saywell, have been absolutely fabulous.
Ball in the air from umpire Abbott. Eastow down the throat of Robinson. Free kick. Ball call shepherding, said the umpire. This is Daniels, chips it wide. Oh, Saywell, well done. His ball's been pretty good in recent weeks. Not much of him. A long ball through the centre forward position. Eastow brings it down. Clements over the top of it, held the line of the ball beautifully. Great courage. Trouble. Now Stantokia. This is Green on the left, and he misses. 1 goal 3, the Bulldogs. 2-5, Norwood.
Could have been an expensive goal for Norwood. That one kicking into the breeze could easily have kicked it.
Which probably should have, as Stantokia kicks it to himself. 2-5 to 1-3. And Jerry clears it well beyond that danger zone towards centre wing. Balkle can't take it, goes out the back. Watch out for Gurdon, who leaves it for a player in Cotter, who left it for Gurdon. Wasn't all that flash, really. Saywell gets it from Laird and then goes to the midfield. Clean and precise, it's not bad. Schaefer hands it off towards McGowan. This way and that goes the truck, and then has a look at Flood. Flood front spot all over the top of him. Should get a free kick and does.
Used his body pretty well, didn't he?
Very well. I've watched Centrals coming through that middle a couple of times. They bring it back to centre.
Just balked at the right time. He was offline, propped, and allowed the player to run into him, so it was fairly clever. You can see the scoreboard there, 2-5 to 1-3, a chance to bring it back to 2 points the difference. This is Flood. Beautiful kick. No problem. 2-5 plays 2-3.
First goal to Flood. He's had 3 tries at it and not made the distance. But I like the way.
As well.
Yes, I like the way Central's bringing the ball back to centre and coming through there.
The Barmy Army behind the goals like it too, as they chant the Central's chant. Schaefer, Eastow, dead heat that one. Loose ball, falls Green over the top of it. It's a free kick. He's infringed, and it's going to Harvey, who comes up from the mud. Little fella back from a 3-week break with a hamstring injury. Pushes it long to the lead, and it's Reid from behind. Sets himself, couldn't bring it to ground. Now Tyson, Scotty Lee got him.
Good contest.
Oh, cleverly done, Giorgio to Reid. A kick was smothered, it ricochets back. Opportunity for Girdham, goes long, caught to Schaefer, I think, by surprise. Best on the ground in the first quarter. Cotter goes off now to Vardy, ruck roving, I suspect, and through half forward he goes. Green's the target, used his body pretty well. Dantokia infringed, said the umpire. Jerry's not happy about it. Green will push it forward. Out on the lead is Flood, who's becoming a prominent forward, right in front of Daniels.
Good, strong lead. Always had the fullback in trouble. Let's see what he can do this time.
1 goal, what? 1 goal, none. And 1 out of bounds on the full from 3 shots. The other one fell well short, didn't he? One we thought we'd make the distance with. This one coming back, but not quite far enough. 1-1 and 1 out of bounds on the full.
Again, Central's stronger running through the centre than Norwood. Their Rovers and Ruck Rovers are getting more of the ball.
So they've warmed to the task as Bowman gets it. He's going to get cleaned up by Conway. Couldn't take the footy. There are 3 Bulldogs there. One of them's going to get crunched. It's Cook. The attack on him by Growden was pretty good. Forces it across the line. Watch this. Good strong tackle. I guess if you're a one-eyed Bulldog, you might suggest that was in the back.
That's if you're a one-eyed Bulldog, of course.
As distinct from a one-eyed Redleg. Stephen Rowan at the bottom there. Hands it back. 1 point the difference. And you learn something every day. A couple of weeks ago we were told that Stephen Rowe is deaf in one ear. There's a bit of trouble hearing the call on one side. I guess that's some excuse not to be handballing, isn't it?
Actually, that's just a story he told his wife, though, isn't it? No, it is true, Tricky, by the way. I'm not demeaning that. It's not funny.
Schaefer, Saywell, good smother. We've seen half a dozen of those so far. Green, he knew exactly where Girdham was. Couldn't quite find him, though, as Girdham attacks the body. McIntosh, just a little bit of calm when Mackin gets near the footy. This is Bulkwell.
I think that's part of the difference at the moment. Central bring it out of there, bring it out of defence. They'll pick a man off in the centre, and Norwood's doesn't seem to be doing that at the moment.
That just did pretty well, didn't he? 3-on-1 the contest, so they're closing down back there. The red leg defenders are shutting down the corridor. Look at it, 3-on-1. Bowman, Daniels, there.
Yeah, we've got Dickey out here on the wing.
So Rowe drills it long to Dickey. From behind, Miller couldn't quite get to the contest. He tried pretty hard to get there. Scotty Lee crashes through. He's claimed by 2. Gives it off to Schaefer. Laird works hard for it. McIntosh just gave him a little clip. And Dantokia, who's been terrific in defence.
Wasn't that magnificent by Scott Lee? Left his player, beat 3 of them, pushed it across the top, and then all of a sudden Central had the numbers at the footy.
Scott Lee, plenty of experience there, straight at the footy.
I like the way Jerry Dantokia held his line too. 28.5 minutes into the first quarter. Saywell handballs to himself. Around the corner he goes. Beautiful. It's bending back. Conway there opposed to Bowman. Bowman's been pretty good in that position the last couple of contests. Green crashed through, did it nicely. Tries to handball it to Cotton, snaps for goal, marks it himself. Now shoots. It's coming back around, but it's out the other side. And it's popped right across the face of goal and out of play. As the siren sounds at quarter time, a great contest at the parade. Norwood 2-5-17, Leeds Central's 2-4-16. All the action on ABC Sport. Umpire Craig Doddridge puts us in motion for the second term, 2-5-17. Norwood 2-4-16, 1 point ball game at quarter time. Schaefer and Eastow go at it. McGowan pulled off the ball. Saywell on the left boot goes through half forward. And it ricochets forward now to Green, who goes through half forward. Dantokia was searching for the ball. Robertson gathers it in. Cotton gathered him in, but was held when not in possession, said the umpire. And Robinson, who started at fullback, now seems to be playing, what, at half back, Ross?
Yes. 2 other players for Centrals who are doing very well at the moment, I think, are Saywell and Green.
Miller pushed there. No worries about that. No argument from the player either, by the way. Hereda from the outer wing bombs it in long. It's unlike Central to do that. It's just a long ball to Borkle. Set himself. Eastow thumped it to ground. Cunningham got through the middle. Did pretty well to Giorgio. He's upended by Stevens. Was looking for a free kick. Girdham just pulled off the ball. Unheard of in this competition. Stevens. Handballs forward. Now it's Girdham again. Didn't pull off it then, did he? Just great courage. Through half forward goes the skipper. Gets support from Stevens. Now back on the left boot and it's smothered. He should have gone on the right again. And if ever there's a criticism, Ross, of Stevens, it's that left boot needs to work all the time for him. He hasn't got much in the way of an option.
Yes, I was more interested in the work of Girdham, who just worked and worked and worked and got the ball to him. I'm a big fan.
2-5 to 2-4. Giorgio kicks it forward. Nice little squeeze out by Borkwill. Got it to Cotter. Up to Westwell forward. Green kept his line and did it pretty well. Conway dives on the footy. So too in there is Dan Tokia. But Jerry knows exactly where the line is, doesn't he? Right there. As a Central player dives in, hits the concrete. That was Vardy. One of them's hurt behind play. It's Green. And Dan Tokia knew every little bit of the way. There's the concrete. It's pretty close here, isn't it?
It is on this western side. Dan Tokia is holding that defence together pretty well at the moment.
Peter Green, the player that's in a little bit of strife. Very excitable man, Peter. Loves kicking goals. Let's face it, who doesn't? Lays it down to McIntosh. Giorgio's in there. It's a bit scrambly just for the minute. As Green gets it, Cook's got it. Heard a whistle somewhere. Centrals have got a free kick, you can tell, because the boos have gone up.
Green's got it. Now, you talked about liking the goals. He's a half-forward ruck rover type who averages better than a goal a game, and there's not many of them in the game.
I think he's a fine player, but let's face it, you could use the old term, he's goal hungry, couldn't you? Well, it's not a disparaging remark.
What's happened here? Reverse the free.
No.
Dantokia takes it away. Eastow marks. Plays on quickly. Giorgio running through the grandstand wing.
Nice kick.
Delivers it beautifully. Yep, you did right, Ross. Nice kick. Well, Miller just looked like he pulled up a bit properly then, was he?
Did he turn an ankle or did he?
Yeah, I think he did. Good call. Tyson on 50. Chips it inboard. The target was Bassett. Missed him. And Hicks, as a Wakeland, mops up nicely. Looked to play on quickly, but brought back. Cook got it.
I think Bassett got a shepherd from the umpire there.
Cook now. Now, that was loose checking, wasn't it? Because he was out there. And the ball came back, and 30 seconds later, he's still out there free. Robinson missed it. Saywell upended. Play on, said the umpire. Giorgio slides into base. Gets it out to Robinson. Saywell did pretty well. Laird did even better to drive it forward. Look at this. Playing in front, Vardy, who's playing a terrific game. Has a couple of goal tallies of 3 twice this year. So he's been a pretty effective half forward. Running on now. The long ball into the square. Oh, well done, Green. What a terrible error by the Norwood defence as Green gets his first.
Big emphasis there on keeping your feet. The one who stayed on his feet was able to contribute.
As we were talking about that before the game, Ross, that you just have no chance when you fall over, and we see young 38 here, Tomic, just go over, and you have no chance then, do you? No locomotion.
No. And this is starting to look a little ominous.
So at the bounce, Schaefer wins it down. It falls to McIntosh, 2-on-1. That's a gang tackle. And umpire Abbott says that Macca wasn't going anywhere. So the 94 and 5 Magarey medalist in the middle of his home ground, the Norwood Oval, 5 minutes into the second term. And Centrals have snuck ahead by 5 points.
Eastow shovels it forward. It's a bit like a marching girl show out there. There are whistles going everywhere. Clements or Harvey? Harvey's got it. Look a bit the same from side on. Saywell's grabbed it. The umpire's brought it back. Still the whistles are going. 2-5 to 3-4. Doggies have a 5-point break. They've kicked the last 3 goals. Norwood kicked the first 2.
Kick was taken by Harvey, but in fact it was Cunningham's kick, Triggy.
Thank you very much. Cunningham right from the middle of this parade ground, puts it towards Reed. They need something a little extra up front. I must admit, I don't have quite the same confidence when it goes down there as when it goes up to the front end for Central, as it will in just a moment.
Here we go, down the middle again.
Right down the middle, Ross, you're quite right. Cotter gave it to Lee, and now up into some danger area. Handled down very nicely. Green couldn't take it. Did he get a push? The umpire said no. This is Clement. Squeeze it out. Cotton takes it and kicks another one.
That's a post.
Oh, another pointer.
See McIntosh take another pretty severe bump in the centre there.
Another hit.
Yep.
He does pretty well, Ross, doesn't he, given that he takes such a beating. He gives it out, but he takes it as well. And he just keeps going.
He's immensely courageous.
This is Clements. Now they're playing very wide, the Redlegs. I'm not sure that Peter Rode, the coach, will be all that pleased with this. Tomic, that's World Series Wrestling. That's a sleeper hold. Free kick at the advantage allowed to play. Going forward was Bowman. Good grab. This is Robinson. He's good overhead, isn't he?
He is. I just think that Central look more settled at the moment. They look more potent when they go into attack.
Yes, I think that was the point I was making a moment ago. When it goes up there for the Doggies, they've got Flood and they've got Conway, and there's lots of movement, and Green's around the packs.
Vardy. Borkel's been okay too. It's in our fault.
Well, very undersung this year as well, they say. But at the other end, you've got Reed, who's kicked 26 so far this year. But other than that, really, they're struggling a bit. Quick kick forward. Here's a chance for them. As Ross has been saying, they need one, and they need it now. Bassett, who took a blinding mark in the first term, squeezes it out towards Cunningham. You cannot keep it in play. A lot of point in arguing, though. Brian Hereda just at the bottom of screen there, number 19. Schaefer is 2, and Miller is 17. Schaefer's been in very good form this year since returning from Richmond. Came back after a stint over there and has slotted in very nicely. They work it out. Lee gets on the end of a couple of quick little reflex handballs to the middle of the ground. Great mark. Taken by Borkel.
Oh, and played on.
Did so very quickly, didn't he? Up towards half forward it goes. Flood is there, hand on the shoulder. Daniels just put the hand over in the act of spoiling. And the free kick's going to be taken by David Flood, who still has, by the looks, besides one goal, a fair amount of tissue and padding stuffed up that nose to stop the bleeding.
Wool.
Cotton wool's the turn.
Good position to kick goals from there with the wind going into that goal square. It allows it to swing in.
Good call. Good call. David Flood got underneath it, but still kicks his second. 4-5 to 2-5. The Doggies make a break.
I think Central seem to be doing a lot of the little things better. They're playing a more disciplined game. I like the way Scott Lee came out of defence there. They had 2 and 3 running. Scott Lee drove it long. Excellent mark from Borkwell.
4-5 plays 2-5. The Bulldogs get a couple of goals break. Important in these conditions as Schaefer lets loose. Dead heat that one. It falls down to Rowe. At the back, Robinson playing at centre-half back now. Tyson at half forward. Scotty Lee couldn't get there. Cunningham runs off Lee. Lee looks for someone to pick up his man. The ball is drilled in long and low. And oh, Reed, great grab. Did it beautifully.
Good mark. Reed, 26 goals this year. He's obviously been... he's improved on last year, and that was an excellent full forwards mark.
He kicked over 50 last year in, 10 or 11 games, so his average is pretty good. 4 goals, 3 last week against the Double Blues, and a long straight kick. It's a goal. They get one back. They're back within 6 points.
Well, that's what they need. Good work by Tyson. He was also a dangerous player for Norwood last year. Between Tyson and Reed, and Miller, they form a big part of Norwood's forward potency.
Pretty good kick that, Ross.
Good full forwards kick.
Yes, his kick was good. I guess I was alluding to the Tyson one that just sat it out in front of him, gave him a chance. And as you said, Reed finished it off nicely. 1-1 to Reed, back in the centre. That's not all that flash, is it? Ruckman tapping it to his opposition. Ruckman, Schaefer got a quick kick forward. Not particularly effective. They work it out. McIntosh is just trying to lift the rating now. Got his body in there and just got a free kick.
Strength
and experience. Grandstand side. Player with the run of it is Clements. Made the break. In fact, it was Harvey. Marked there by Reed. Handball back to Cunningham. The cavalry was on. It was coming at him pretty hard and fast. McIntosh in the middle. He knew where the player was on the far side. It was Giorgio who takes a little slips catch. Not quite, though. Must have hit the ground.
Good attempt. Good attempt, but didn't pay it.
Bit of frustration in the crowd too.
He marked it. He marked it. Looked like Dippy Domenico standing there.
That's the little dip of that bloke. This is Tyson at half forward. Caught on the right boot, needs to bring it back. Did it beautifully. The great team discipline. Bassett was manhandled off the ball, but in retaliating, he's given away a free kick, and Hicks gets it.
You could almost call that shepherding, couldn't you? Watch this. The ball was a long way away when Wakeland was holding on.
Oh, Wakeland, sorry, gee, he does look a bit like Hicks. Thanks, Triggy. Girdham. McGowan.
See if they use the centre this time. Watch. Is Wakeland dropping into the centre?
He's gone a long way, hasn't he? With no chaser.
Possession football to Cook. Now he'll bring it in. Look at Wakeland, centre half forward, all alone. Now that's one of the rare occasions that the Bulldogs didn't play on immediately, and it's come unstuck for them. Oh, as Robertson juggles a one-hander, not paid. Davey on the ground, gives it back, and Rowden goes for the line.
I like watching both McIntosh and Girdham. They're so desperately keen.
Just plain tough as well. Plain tough. Quick kick into the centre of the ground. Saywell, the back with Stevens.
Good attempt by Saywell.
Ran on line, couldn't get it though. Growden, quick tackle by Stevens, pushes it towards Rowe. It's tough and tight in the clinches, I promise you. It was well taken by McIntosh. Schaefer just came off the footy and allowed Macca a free run at it. Gets it back towards Eastor, round the body, two to choose from. One of them's Harvey. Now Harvey will have Dickey on centre wing, probably should use him, and does. The kick is a shocker. Oh, great mark taken by McGowan. A little magical stuff here on centre wing at the parade. He gets it in the middle towards Schaefer. Schaefer, quick kick now to half forward. Attack on the footy from Tomic was all right. Green gets it in the direction of his goal. Handled forward by Conway to Green. Get it across the top, Peter. Don't be selfish. Should have got it across the top. Cost him a goal. Davies swoops and takes it to the line.
I liked... who was that came out and tapped the ball there to... I think it was Saywell. Might have been Saywell who tapped the ball into Flood, was it? Into Green's path.
Should have got the handball over the top.
Correct.
Cotton was there to receive it. Green just took the second option, didn't he? Loose ball. Green crashes through. McIntosh just closes that opening. The roller door was there. Now Saywell, a high kick through half forward. Dickey will need to work hard for it. Had a bit of a look, and Flood was coming. Daniels around the corner into space. Donald Dickey can use his pace. That's what he's renowned for. Flicks it back to himself. Flood just provides a contest.
Well played.
Yes, it was. This is Dan
2-on-1 here.
And the tater, Scotty Lee marks on the chest.
Where's our centre half forward gone? He's up at centre half back.
Hang on, what's this possession stuff? Our centre half forward. Up towards centre half forward. 33 next week, we believe. Old Scotty Lee. Shouldn't say old, I suppose. 33. Doesn't seem old, but in the scheme of things in footy it is. This is Daniels at centre half back. Good mark, wasn't it? Just floated across the front, gets it out now towards half-back where Dickey is lurking.
Daniels as well playing at full-back. He's a fellow that showed a lot of promise last year, and Norwood are looking for him to come on.
Jimmy Wine now on the field, gets his first possession. Dickey missed it, went right through to the keeper. Now he gathers it in, gives it off to Cunningham. Cleverly forward to Harvey. Now Davey. Oh, crashed into by Green. Held his line beautifully. Tomic in the wet, playing by Vardy, holding the ball. Well, nobody was talking, were they?
Excellent tackle. Good pace.
Vardy just made, gave him 10 and called him over 20.
Vardy's one of these Crows numbers, and I look forward to seeing him improve.
He's certainly improved this season alone. Jimmy Wine. A few injuries for him. The right forearm heavily strapped. Of course, broke his leg last year's final series. Missed the grand final. The 31-year-old, the former Fitzroy star. 21 games for the Bulldogs. Conway smothered it. Couldn't quite mark it, however. Eastow out the back door. Harvey runs it off to Tomic. He won't muck around with it this time. It'll go short. And the mark's been taken out there by Growden. For Trevor Growden, who had a shoulder injury pre-season. Also just missed a couple recently with it. 17 games for the club in the state squad. A long ball. Laird, Scotty Lee, Hereda to centre half forward, and Borkwell's out in front again. Green picks it up. Gee, they're getting through that centre half forward too easily, aren't they? Vardy into the goals, and he's missed. 1 point.
I think Eastow is doing well in ruck for Norwood. He's shading Schaefer, but it's stopping about there for Norwood. Green's doing well at half forward for Centrals.
I think if you have a look through the Centrals forward line, Cotton's been active, Borkwell's been active, Green has. But I think the thing that they haven't done in the Red League defensive zone is just take a body and stop them running through. At the other end, you look at Hereda and Scotty Lee, Wakeland, they're all happy to take a body and just slow down the Red League forwards.
Centrals seem to be getting the ball into their forward line quicker.
Now we're waiting for a ball. The ball didn't come back from the crowd, so somebody souvenired that one.
It's unusual.
So here comes the ball.
Fairly expensive items these days.
Now, Ross, you might remember when Wally Miller was in charge of the balls, you never got one at the parade.
It'd probably be an old one going out there now.
Yeah, it would be too.
Had to do that, Ross, in the old days because they paid the players here at the parade too much. To get all of the money back they could.
Which ones are you
All of the savings. All of the big stars, the big centre half forwards, the goal kickers, the best and fairest types. Growden around the body towards centre wing, smashed away across the top by Harvey. Cunningham. This is where they need to lift a bit, isn't it? Just those on ballers as McIntosh gets a torpedo punt there.
Miller missing. Where's Miller at centre half forward? He's got to be under that.
He's travelling, but he's not getting much of the football directed towards him at the moment. Saywell gets it out towards McGowan. This is where the damage is happening. The midfielders are doing all of the slicing through that half-forward line. Daniels first there, takes it across the line.
Let's just see what happens in this little exchange with Eastow.
Almost 18 minutes into the second term. Not too far to half-time. It's Bassett, is it? Down from the full forward line. Dickey, Dan Tokia. So Reed's gone to a forward pocket, and we'll try and pick up for you who's gone to the other. It's a full forward. We'll try and pick up the other forward pocket as Rowe around the corner. Bends it back. Oh, good work back there. This is Wakeland, quality player.
Coming out from defence like a forward, leading for the ball.
Vardy around the corner to Scotty Stevens. Well, Laird could have provided a shepherd then, didn't, just went off on his own tangent. The Stevens kick therefore was under pressure, and Eastow marks at centre half back, gives it off. Robertson caught, threw it out to Dan Tokia. Jerry did pretty well. A long ball, but gee, there was no contest, was there, Schaefer? Now this is the problem, is that Schaefer's been drifting back across centre half back, and he's just chopping Miller out of the contest.
But Miller also is coming a long way upfield and sometimes isn't there when the ball comes in.
Borkwell through half forward. Eastow couldn't get there. Off the ground, Bassett kicked it forward to himself. Big 10 in the reserves last week, but really didn't get a sniff of the forward line this match. Caught it well. Stevens finds plenty of the ball, delivers it long, good body flood, created an opening. At the back door it was Davey and Cotton. Davey's a good choice on Cotton because he's got a fair bit of pace. Daniels goes at it, Flood keeps it in play to McGowan. Davey worked hard for it, so too did Harvey, and he thumps it across the line, and we'll have a throw-in.
Good, desperate football. Norwood could have lost possession there, could have cost them a goal.
19 and a half minutes gone. I just took the headsets off for a moment. The Norwood fans around us are livid that the Norwood forwards aren't playing in front. I guess they're fair judges as well at the moment. Robinson in over the football, couldn't take it, neither could Lee. Heard the footsteps and just came off it. Cook out wide. Cotton, or Cotter I should say, around the body, he's missed. So 4-7 to 3-5, 1-2 the difference.
Perhaps could have made more of that shot. There's a goal gone begging there, and they're the ones you're looking for at the end of the game.
Doggy's doing most of the attacking. Dan Tokia, as that goal square starts to get a little bit chopped up. Kicks it to the far side of the parade. Big leap all round, and McGowan can't control it. Yes, he can. Gets bundled across the line by Davey. How have you seen McGowan's game?
He's one of those Centrals fellows that are just doing all the little things and making them look more organised, and the word I use is more potent, more likely to get a result.
Speaking of results, Cook, Conway, quick kick on the left leg, across the face of goals, and it goes out of bounds. The thing about McGowan, Ross, is that you tend to think he's doing okay, and at the end of the day, he's got 35 possessions.
Yes, as I say, he's just another one of the Central's army that are just doing those little things all the time.
Spoiled down to Cook.
Cook's working hard there.
Cook's doing well. Stevens back towards number 8 is Jim Wind, up towards the full forward line. It's taken by a short-cropped Lockie Bowman. Oh dear, nearly came unstuck.
But again, you're at the 20-minute mark, and Centrals haven't used a wind this quarter. That windsock's showing about a 2 to 3 goal breeze, and they're not getting the results. 4 goals 7 goals 4 would have been handy for them.
Daniels goes to centre wing where Tyson takes it. The Tyson kick now to half forward. Who's there? Miller's not. And as David said a moment ago, Schaefer's drifting back and doing a lot of damage. He
is, and early on, Miller was very active for Norwood. Had his hand on the ball a lot of times at centre half forward, and but seems to have drifted out of the game.
Comment Ross Dillon, former Norwood centre half forward and champion. 114 games, 242 goals. Well qualified to comment on that aspect. Giorgio through, claimed by Green. Did well, Green, didn't he?
Ooh, good tough.
Holding the ball. The umpire said that he tried to charge through, had the opportunity. And that is the rule, isn't it? If you've had the opportunity and you don't choose to get rid of it and you're gone, well, it's a free kick. Daniels, big fly, he held himself right in the air. Rowe taking the ground. Leon said the umpire, loose ball at the back. Threaded out the back door by Bassett to Dickey. Around the corner goes Donald. Into space. Cotter. Playing very well. Probably his best game for the Bulldogs by far. This is Cotton. Back to Cotter. Evaded and delivers. Scotty Lee. Inside 52, the Tater. And he loves a goal, doesn't he?
Centrals did very well in that exchange out here. Kept their feet. Kept possession of the ball and finished up with Scott Lee in a good position for goal. Maybe about 10 metres too far out.
Scotty Lee, 160 games, 36 goals. He won't add to his goal tally there. And the mark's been claimed by Bowman with the new crew cut too, by the way.
Again, at 4 goals 7 to 3 goals 5. Centrals have had more of the play, but it doesn't show on the scoreboard.
The Bowman kick goes to half-back. Schaefer's out there, and so too is a big mark across the top by Robinson, who has a lovely pair of hands. Inside to Giorgio, half forward. They'd love to get another one before half-time. This time Miller is in the contest, so too is Laird. Dishes it out. That wasn't so good, Roy. It's gone straight towards Cunningham, who couldn't have capitalised on it, though it's into the centre. Stevens puts the foot on the accelerator, takes off right in the heart of the parade, puts it up to where Flood is. It's well spoiled, though, by Daniels. Dantokia, time, a little bit of poise to Davey. Hands it off towards Bowman on the left leg, perhaps on the right, and has a look at the boundary.
Great option.
Only option, probably.
Yeah, there were 3 Central District players. Vardy was coming there, Borkle was there, and so too Cotter. Not one Norwood jumper, so he kicked it straight to the boundary line. The finisher was pretty intelligent. So back into play, Keating on the ground, thumps it down, right down the throat of Rowe. The kick is just inside the line. Scotty Lee, Miller, that's a bump. It's a beauty. Miller fights hard for the ball, keeps it in the area. And they'll start again, the Redlegs, with 4-7, the Bulldogs. Norwood 3-5, the margin out to 8 points. And we're just short of 23 minutes into the second term.
I think you've got to watch how easy that ball's going through Central's half-forward line compared to how easy it's going through Norwood's. It's a real dogfight to get the ball through Norwood's half-forward line at the moment.
Free kick to Cook. At half-back, delivers it to half-forward. Borkwill set himself. From behind it was Robinson. I think that's a better matchup too, Ross, Borkwill and Robinson.
Yes, but Borkwill again's another one of those fellows doing a lot of the little things.
Potter warming up on the boundary line. Back, we're told, having 2 bruised ribs, and suspect that maybe the toughness of this guy, they might have been broken. Harvey around the corner. Cunningham couldn't grab it on the half volley. Robinson crashes through. Yep. Potter claims him. Great tackle.
Great tackle.
Dead heat. And it's a bounce. So umpire Michael Avon puts the ball in there. There'll be no bouncing today. Schaefer and Keating push off. Play on, said the umpire. Keating handballs it to space. Tyson's there. Laird off the ground, out of bounds on the full. Disappointed. Just in the sheer desperation of making sure that Tyson didn't get it.
Reid
gives away a free kick.
Reid on the lead here.
From behind, Hicks. Wakeland mops up nicely. Miller tries to run him down. Just applies a
chance
bit of
for
pressure.
Norwood here.
Yep. Davey feeds it off. Harvey needs for the ball to set. Hicks almost claimed him, just unsettled him, didn't he? Now Growden pulled off the ball, free kick. Umpire Abbott was right there.
Central District's backline very dogged. It's a pun, but very tight. Fighting very hard for each ball.
Trevor Growden towards full forward. The big fly was up. Miller front position. Jimmy Wine thumps it towards the boundary line. Harvey claims that Saywell got him. No free kicks to the umpire. And the boundary line gets there first.
Repeat the point. Central's defence very disciplined, not giving Norwood many chances at all.
Well into time on us. Schaefer goes into battle with Miller. They need another one. Desperately around the body goes Georgia.
Tyson's chance there.
Tyson just poked a hand in there at the last moment, almost as an afterthought. Cook around the body. Comes out the back. Now they've got the numbers. They've got
the numbers in the middle here.
The numbers, as Ross says, in the middle. They've got one of them is number 37. Came onto the ground not so long ago. Matthew Toomey. Reid is there.
Miller's ball should be.
Wouldn't like to be taking it amongst all of that lot, to be quite honest. It goes out to the side. This is the problem. As the siren goes to end the first half of football, and the Red Legs are going to take a shot, but that would be a very optimistic shot at them, if you don't mind me saying so. Harvey.
Equivalent to about a 65-metre kick.
I'd say so. Goes with a torpedo punt, and it's just not there. So no change to the score at half-time at the Parade in this round 10 clash on ABC Sport between the Legs and Centrals. And as I say, at half-time, 4-7 plays 3-5, 8 points in favour of the Doggies. And here at half-time, it's pretty tight. Umpire Michael Abbott holds it up. There's 8 points in this game so far, 4-7 to 3-5 on ABC Sport, as Schaefer lays it down, and he has been absolutely fabulous so far, Robbie Schaefer. Pushes it out to where James Saywell has lurked so very dangerously on centre wing, pushes it around the body, and it finally goes across the line. James Saywell, a vastly improved player.
Yes, I played against his father in the first match I ever played in South Australia.
Sally?
But yes, but James Saywell has been very elusive and impressive there on the half-forward flank, and creating some havoc.
And here's the man that you enjoy watching so much, McIntosh, around the body, up towards centre half forward, underneath the footy as McGowan can't take it. Laird is there, the pressure is on. Norwood need a couple of quick ones here to get themselves back in business. Miller at centre half forward, right up there, but Hicks sits back and does a pretty good job. Takes a mark, gets it to Cotter on grandstand side, half back. Cotter, a much improved player to the truck. Ricky McGowan, left legs neat and concise as always, has a look at Borkwill, can't quite find him this time, out the back to Girdham. Oh, Girdham gets absolutely crunched and gets a free kick. And Roger Girdham so far has been pretty good.
He's been terrific, Triggy, hasn't he? A great inspirational leader. The Bulldogs have been playing right down the centre corridor. If you've just joined us for this part of the replay, it was only a 1-point ball game at quarter time, 8 points in it at half-time as Cunningham goes forward. Laird spoils away Schaefer, who's done pretty well as a big man in this match. It's been the two biggest men in the competition. Schaefer at 200 centimetres, playing against Eastor at 200 centimetres. Sturt by 30 points over Southwell. The Double Blues re-emergent continues. Dead even at the Eagles and West match. And I think their two sides are pretty well weighted too, those two sides. Schaefer upended. Loose ball falls to Cotter, the best man for the Bulldogs in the first half. McIntosh over the top of the ball, fights hard for it, can't get it clear. And in the finish, umpire Abbott indicates that he'll have a bounce.
I think this quarter we'll see the winner of the game emerge. Norwood's got that 2 or 3 goal breeze, and if they can't use it in this quarter, it's all over, I think.
It's a good call. They need something. They need it fairly quickly. As Hicks sees it across the line. Damien Hicks, reserves Magarey medalist last year. Short pass to Cook. And Cook, in conjunction with players like Girdham and Stevens and Saywell, have done most of the damage through the midfield, but they've struggled a little bit Norwood up the front. Even when they have got it down there, it's bounced out pretty well. Scott Lee rebounding. And for all of that, we're describing it as though it's a bit one-sided. It's only 8 points in it.
Yeah, both sides probably didn't take advantage of the of kicking with the wind in the respective first and second quarters, and I repeat, this quarter will be the one to decide the winner of the game, I think.
Miller thumps it down. Tyson had the kick smothered. Now Giorgio, back it goes. McGowan just intercepted in front of McIntosh. Over the top of it, Growden works hard, but Schaefer tunnel balls it out the back door, where Harvey runs onto it. Claim we're not in possession, and too high, said the umpire. And Harvey, well, it was clearly high. Borkle got him on the grandstand wing. The 23-year-old, third in the club best and fairest last year, is a pretty handy acquisition. 3 weeks out with a hamstring. Big grab by Hereda, not paid, said the umpire. Rowe goes off the turf, and now Wakeland, who's played a terrific game in defence for the Bulldogs.
He has.
I suspect that with Brian Cunningham here watching, with Jim Nitschke, the Port Adelaide recruiting powers, I think they'd have their eye on this guy. Hicks forward to Stevens. They're looking at him too, I suspect. Pirouettes beautifully, swings on the left. He really does need a right boot to be a complete footballer. A long ball, Saywell, stolen by Growden, coat hanger, free kick.
It was a pretty dangerous tackle, actually. I think he's courageous enough. He's up. I think the Central District's fellows slipped, though. I don't think it was totally intentional.
Very charitable, Ross.
Yep.
This is Growden now at half forward. Launches himself into it. Where's Miller? He's at the back, and that's a bit symptomatic of the way they've been up in that front end so far.
I don't think Miller's pushing hard enough at the moment, or since quarter time.
Yes, in the first quarter he was very good. Certainly much quieter in the second quarter as Potter gets it to the far side where Giorgio picks it up. Quick kick around
Here's
the body
chance.
and taken by Eastow. So a chance for them from about 45 metres out. Simon Eastow, recruited to the club this year. And a chance to make the margin just 2 points.
Norwood seemed to be getting more from around the ball just in the first 5 minutes of this quarter.
So the former Richmond player from 45 metres out gets under it.
Across the front.
Kicks it long and high across the face and through for one behind. So the two sides went into this game for the sports bet people. For the punters out there, with the doggies at 6-10. Raging favourites, I guess. Norwood were 12-10. And at the 5.5 minute mark, we've got 4-7 to 3-6.
Well, the Bulldogs' only loss in the first half of the season was to Norwood at Football Park. Small margin. Not sure that the bookies really should have been that generous. The Red League side's a pretty fair side. Miller thumps it away. The big man needs to get involved. He was quite spectacular a couple of weeks ago. We saw him really just intimidate the opposition. Today, he really hasn't made that physical presence so dominant.
He did early, David, but he's fallen away in the last 2 quarters.
At the ball, Scotty Lee off the ground. The agitator goes towards the boundary line. I think the kick might have gone exactly where he wanted it to head. If you've just joined us to Central, their first of 4 away games. They're so spectacular at home. They face Norwood here, then Port at Albert, and North at Prospect, and West Adelaide at Richmond Oval. So a pretty tough schedule away from home.
Out of the side today, Stephen Schwert for the Dogs. Fleming and Pascoe out for the legs as Giorgio gets it inside the centre square, pushes it up. And they back themselves down there, the Doggies. Get themselves in front spot. It was Wakeland, got it towards Cotter. Particularly clean. The ball was half smothered and another free kick's been paid. This time the legs will get it.
Kieran Ryan's also out for the Red Legs. Knee injury.
Quick kick to Tyson, but it's not going to be paid. They'll have to go back and have another crack at it. John Cunningham.
I think Norwood's forwards are being led to the ball by Centrals. The Centrals' backs are moving first.
Wakeland, a big leap, couldn't take it. Dickey the handball, Giorgio another handball to Eastwell. Now there's a chance. That's a good-looking kick from about 35 metres out. It was missed.
Norwood's constantly in attack this quarter, but we're not getting. When I say sorry, David, but when I say we. They're not getting the score.
You're allowed to barrack, Ross. You're our champion of the past, the former Norwood great, Ross Dillon. I don't think people at home mind former players barracking, Ross. If we were paying you, you wouldn't be allowed to, of course. Scotty Lee. It's to Stevens. Now, they are playing the centre corridor beautifully here at the parade, the Bulldogs. They only lead at this stage by 6 points, so there's not much in it. And you must say that the Redlegs haven't played up to their ability, and they're only a kick behind, so it's not a bad form guide, is it? Robinson in front of Borkle, well beaten Robinson in the first term by Conway. Shifted to centre half back, and he's been a pretty fair player in that position. This is Dickey, opposed to Stevens on the outer wing.
Beautiful
on a shed there. That is a magnificent kick. Reid just bullocked his way through. Opened the door, but no Rovers there. Cunningham couldn't quite get there in time.
It's interesting to have Centrals coming off the big ground of Elizabeth playing against Norwood here on the small ground, and the reverse. It's always extremely difficult for the away side to win.
Just pick that up with you in a moment as the umpires found a free kick. It's going to go the Redlegs' way, I think.
Behind the play between Laird and Tyson, I think, a bit of holding.
So Tyson's going to get it, and this is a pretty important kick. 3-7. The Redlegs, they're trailing by 6 points. And 22-year-old James Tyson is going to give them a chance. Nothing yet for him.
That windsock's sitting up pretty in the horizontal, almost a horizontal position, so he needs to set it out from the front of the goal.
The left post. It's a good-looking kick. Just to the right. Let's talk about that ground, Ross. What about for centre-half forwards playing at Norwood Oval? That's, from my experience, pretty tough requirement playing there. The ball goes over the head a fair bit.
It's all about, depends how much you want it.
About position, Ross.
No, the ball, keep chasing, keep pushing.
Scotty Lee from full
I didn't
back.
mind it, actually.
Sorry, Ross. To Wakeland, interfered with, free kick. McIntosh shepherded him out to the umpire when the ball was more than 5 metres away. Wakeland at the true centre-half back position has options right down the middle. Now, oh, well done, Hereda. Just drifted in underneath it, marked it, feeds it off to McGowan, who drills it long and low. The target was Conway, drifting back on the ball, drifting back, I should say. Bassett, who started the game at full forward after 10 goals in the reserves last week. Oh, great mark, Rowden. He certainly has recovered from that shoulder injury. Just kept him out. And a long ball, but not much of a target up there. Bowman made a contest of it in the finish. Rowe pushes it long and low. Giorgio's the target. Stevens sets out after him. Upends him too as they go for the ball. Stevens did pretty well to feed it back. Hicks works hard for it, pulled off the ball. Now Reid working hard on the left boot. What can he do with it? Brings it back in board with the handball. Cunningham evades the tackle by Girdham and goes around the corner. Team lift with that one. Scores Norwood. Hitting the front, they lead by a point.
Well called, David. Norwood forwards worked extremely hard. Reid included, got the ball out, and nice spot to kick a goal from around the corner there. So Norwood capitalising on having the ball in the forward line.
Peter Rode, the Norwood coach, there's his record in South Australia so far. 1-5 and lost 3. We've waited a little while for that goal. The last one was at the 10-minute mark of the second term. It's now the 10-minute mark of the third term. And it's given the Redlegs a chance. They're just starting to get that momentum up now. Quick kick forward. Spoiled away their half a chance though. Giorgio's in the front spot. Lurches forward at it and then handballs it across the top to Reid. Need to be fairly quick here, Ashley, round the body. It is, and it's well taken down the front by I thought it was E-score. But it's not. It's little number 37, Matthew Toomey.
I think David called it before as a team lifting goal, and I think that's exactly what's happening at the moment.
You just sense, don't you, that when they work hard for a goal like that, somebody finishes it in inspirational style. It is a team goal, and they all seem to swallow the bait at the one time and pull together. And
it's the job of the opposition to
bounce back.
Toomey's
kick is a goal. So Norwood all of a sudden looked threatening. 12 minutes in, 5-8 plays 4-7.
Lost, didn't we? That the Redlegs were 6 points down and playing poorly. Then suddenly just a lift and they're 7. What are they now? 8 points up.
Yeah, Rose had won a couple of hard balls out of the centre there, bullocking the ball going forward.
Bassett has one, Toomey, Growden, Reid and Cunningham. Flood has a couple. Now Flood went off with the blood rule and we haven't seen a great deal of him since, but he has Cotton Wool. So the margin's 7 points. I said 8 a moment ago. We'll just correct that. Eastow thumps it down. Cotton missed it. Over the top of it, Girdham. Geez, courageous. Real courage. Just hold your line when somebody's boots are coming at you at full steam. You just can't believe how difficult that is. It's not a natural instinct. Great mark, Bassett. What a one-hander. A ripper, and you wouldn't have expected that in the wet here at Norwood Oval. That's a great mark.
It's good, and his man Green is coming up the ground, and he's dropping back and
needs to pick up Green.
The ball coming into flood.
The Bowman kick missed its target. Scotty Lee came charging out after it. Borkle goes to the line. The Norwood crowd call for deliberate. And North, Triggy, by 20 points over Glenelg. Glenelg's woes seem to continue.
Not having a good year, are they? The Double Blues in some good news, leading by 42 points. Good news unless you're a Panther supporter. And still the scores are even between the Eagles and West Adelaide at Woodville Oval. Growden gets dragged to the ground. It goes across the line.
Norwood's Rovers and Ruck Rovers seem much more intent now. They've got much more willingness to work hard, and that's what's getting the ball into their forward line all the time.
Tricky, if Sturt win today and South lose, South will be back on the bottom. It's a postscript, a sad postscript for the club that sacked their coach.
Looking at the positive side, though, because the Double Blues have been down there for 7 years, and finally they're getting a little bit back, and if they can stay off the bottom, I know they're not far off the bottom, it will be a great fillip for the club. Schaefer into battle with Miller, who tries to do it all on his own. The Colossus, he'd probably go for holding the ball there, not surprisingly so.
Schaefer's doing better in ruck.
Well, I think he took Keating to the cleaners earlier in the day. In the middle is Dickey, exciting player off hands. Shoveled out, here's a chance though for Cottons, he takes it off hands. Number of Norwood players, bit slow, Jared, holding the footy.
Todd Davey got him.
As David said before, a team lifting goal, but it may come undone.
Green, a long ball. Now, there's nobody out for the Bulldogs in that area. I think the boundary line might get there first. Now, Ross, if we can, you played with Phil Carman. Did you ever think that he'd make a great coach? Now that he's coaching the Double Blues, he seems to be doing a pretty good job.
Let me say that Phil was a fantastic athlete. I believe he was an Olympic Games athlete. As a coach, well, let me...
Hard to tell unless you're playing him, isn't
Who
it?
knows? I hope he does well.
Yeah, you sat on the fence there, Ross.
No, I admired him for his athleticism, and he's a great player.
I watched them train the other night. He's throwing the white boots away, I can tell you that much, as a coach. Chris Schott, Senator Chris Schott, sitting in the centre of screen there.
Strong Norwood man, Chris Schott.
Peter Rode is the man on the right of screen at the top. Craig Barnes the one in the middle. And I think that might be Glenn Ross's chin there.
Wolfie Blass just a few seats forward.
Yes.
Big names. Bowman gets it right on the full back line. So Lockie weighing up the options, decides there's not much on the grandstand side, then changes his mind and has a look at Bassett, couple across the top. One of them's Davey, the other one is Robinson. Robinson takes it, has a look at centre wing where Miller is lurking. It goes towards that player, but Hereda plays in front and does it well, then gets hit. But you could just see that coming up, that the Bulldogs,
excellent commit.
Tricky if I can, Hereda and Miller, two targets for Port Power playing on each other.
And Hereda was playing well in front. Borkwell. Across the top by Cook. Here's a chance. You want to be pretty good here, Peter Green, because Nathan Bassett's got hold of the Guernsey. Lays it back. In comes some support. The umpire's found a free and it will go to Nathan.
There was a free there, but he made certain that the umpire saw it.
Only a 19-year-old, and we mentioned started the game in the forward pocket as Reed's lieutenant after 10 in the reserves last week. Pascoe, of course, out injured. He kicked 10 in the senior side last week. It's a shame they didn't have that big fellow there. Just to combat Central's height. Growden claimed. The umpire said play on, the advantage allowed to flow. And it's the little fella in row going forward to Miller. Just covered the ball nicely, trapped it forward and pushed it down to Tyson. Tyson's handball was a bit fast for Rowe. Good physical work in there.
Working harder now.
Tyson gives it off to Rowe, who drills it forward. Reed on the lead.
Norwood.
Yep, sorry, Ross.
Norwood should, I thought they had something going there.
Just didn't.
Norwood player down behind play there with a corky, I'd say.
Well, you're a frustrated commentator, Ross, aren't you? Might give you a go. Bowman to the far side. Handball over the top to Davey. He's been pretty good since coming on. He's created a presence, frankly. And a long ball. That's a beaut kick towards full forward. Reed from... Hicks, the third man in, couldn't take it. Scotty Lee mops up at the back door. Chips it in short. Underneath this one, McGowan, claimed by McIntosh. Now, there's plenty of blokes out wide. They're ignored, so they're definitely playing the corridor here at Norwood Oval. Now they switch it wide. Well, that surprised me. The option was on early. Cotter, best man in the first term by far for the Bulldogs, goes to the boundary line, and it'll be a throw-in.
So I think Norwood have upped the tempo, and that discipline, and Norwood's doing more of the little things now, and they're putting Central's under a lot of pressure.
Boundary throw-in sees Herrera in battle with Eastow. The ball goes back towards the boundary line. Cunningham just keeps it in play, kicks it around the body very quickly. Goes high. Schaefer's sitting back and doing pretty well. Taken off hands by Rowe. Jammed in on that pocket on the left leg. Tries to get inside. Cops one high. The umpire called play on. Stephen gives some ground. Goes back towards Miller. Miller to the head of the square. Talk about a shove out. And the umpire saw it and did nothing about it. Through for a behind.
Rowe getting more of the ball now. But I agree. The point you just made, Stephen, is I think that umpires tolerate a lot more of full forwards and full backs manhandling each other these days.
Even though there's 3 umpires out there, Ross is distinct from going back to, as we saw at three-quarter time, the 1975 grand final. There was just, what do we have, 1 man in charge then?
Yes.
Donald Dickey, big mark on the 50-metre line, brings it back aboard. Cunningham was the target, but Schaefer got a big 200-centimetre high hand to it. McIntosh over the top of it, threw it out the back door to Cunningham. McGowan claims the ball and holds it in tight. Forces a bounce at centre-half back for the Bulldogs.
McIntosh and Girdham in a classic wrestle.
There's a bit of that every time they play, though, Ross. They've really built up some tradition.
Yes.
They go hard at each other. Remember, of course, it was the Bulldogs who pushed the Redlegs out of last year's preliminary final. I think the Redlegs felt that they could have had a crack at Port and finally got a flag, but 24 points the margin in that preliminary final. I think there's been a fair bit of bad blood between the two sides since.
I just think that they're, Girdham and McIntosh are good, both fantastic tries,
aren't they?
Yep.
Real competitors. This is Wakeling. Been pretty good today too.
He's doing well down there in defence.
High ball out there. Jason Ray front position on Bassett.
Should
the
have
spoil.
And of course, remember, we're live throughout South Australia and the Northern Territory. The Territory and Darwin coming into the dry season.
Pretty good crowd here today, Triggy.
Good crowd in. Down here in South Australia, I can tell you we're coming into the wet. Some very heavy showers this morning. Stayed away throughout the game so far. So the ball's moved fairly quickly and freely, other than that sort of little kick by Eastow. Right on cue, Schaefer.
Could be dangerous.
To Cook, it is dangerous. They've got a spare one. It's green. But Bassett made the hard yards and got there very quickly.
He's out of bounds on the full. Flipped off his boot, by the way. He was a bit unlucky.
So Peter Green, right, half forward right, punches it up towards David Flood across the shoulder. Nothing going.
A bit lucky.
Lucky it wasn't across the shoulder. Yes, down there towards McGowan. Cotter is there, so too Giorgio. I think he'd prefer the line, and he's got it.
The game is squaring up now. Central starting to make a few attacks, whereas earlier this quarter it was all Norwood in the forward line.
A little over 20 minutes into the third term, 8 points the margin. The Redlegs have the lead. Giorgio shovels it out. Cunningham pulled off it. McIntosh forced onto the left, did it pretty well. Bends it back around the corner. A penetrating kick deep into the forward line. Coming out, Reed. 35 out. Will certainly make the distance, and the breeze will assist him. All he needs to do is put it up to the head of the square. Oh,
I would have thought
this is Toomey for a push.
I would have thought Reed's mark was good enough to win the ball.
Well, the umpire said that Toomey was pushed, so he takes the kick, and he'll take it and kick from about 45 metres.
Again, a good spot to kick a goal from, right-hand goal post.
He's dragged it left.
Aimed it for the middle and pulled it past the left-hand goal post.
Simon Eastow on the phone to Peter Rowe, the coach. Just an instruction on what he needs.
Yeah, I think Schaefer's been has come back into the game in this quarter. I think he's holding sway over Norwood's ruckman.
I'll actually beg to differ. I think he's dominated throughout the game, Schaefer, giving himself a pretty good chance to play in the state game. As Giorgio gets it here, is a good chance, Ross. You're quite right. In fact, it's better than a chance. It's a goal. 6-10 to 4-7. And the leggies move a little further ahead.
Yes, Stephen, what have we got? A 15-point lead. But notice that windsock over there. There's 3 goals in it, but sometimes in the third quarter, if you can get far enough away, the impetus just takes you right through in the last quarter.
Stevie Wright's record, played 8-1-7, not bad sitting on top of the ladder. You won't be happy if they throw this one away, that's for sure. Real battle ensuing. Stay with us for the final quarter. I reckon it'll be tough footy as they battle this one out. Robinson forward, Miller, juggled mark. Now he's about 55 out. He is a penetrating kick. With a slight breeze at his back, the big fellow should make the distance.
It's a big call, David. He's about 55 metres, but I think he's got...
He's kicking from a dry patch. That's what gave me hope that he'll make the distance.
Pushed it out right.
Just going for that little extra distance. Just pushed it out to the right. It's a bit like a golf shot where you really push it for that extra yardage and you just slice it.
I know all about that, David.
Well, what do you do, Ross? Now that you're not playing footy, is
bit of golf,
the game?
Bit of golf, bit of tennis.
Scott Lee brings it back into play. Saywell is there, but McIntosh was up to it. Pushed it forward. Umpire's found another free kick.
You're not happy with that free kick, Stephen?
Well, it's hard to pick. Umpires have been fairly prominent. As Cunningham launches himself at it from just beyond that centre circle arc, or the 50-metre arc, and it goes out of bounds. It's 11-4-7.
I think today that side is probably... you'll get a better result out of that side of the ground maybe than you'll get out of this side, even though it's only a relatively small ground.
In front of a good crowd there, as you can see on the terrace. 24 and a bit minutes have gone. It's cool at the parade, but as I said, the showers have stayed away. Giorgio can he get another one now? The second he's going to say in a couple of moments, and all hands on heads, an opportunity missed.
A goal went begging there. That's the one you're looking for at the end of the game.
And that's called frustration.
That's the one you're looking for at the end of the game when the other side's kicking with the wind.
Yes, you are.
6 goals, 12, 18 scoring shots to 11. Scott Lee kicks in.
So Lee kicks into Keating.
Straight to Keating.
Keating takes a good mark.
Handball's off to McIntosh.
McIntosh comes around, left leg, pushes it up towards the square. And right up towards centre half forward where Tyson is lurking, taken off hands by Wakeland. This now is Lee.
Beautifully done.
It was well done, wasn't it? Lots of poise in his behalf. Centre wing now, Cotton. And Cotton's got it. Have you seen his game?
He's played well. Just this quarter, the ball hasn't been up in their forward line as much.
Stephen Rowe cocked one. He's going to get a free kick.
Rowe has had plenty of the football in this quarter.
So the diminutive Stephen Rowe kicks it short. Now towards centre wing. Cotton. Oh, gee, God, he hit pretty hard in that little exchange, let me tell you. Leaping over the top is Todd Davey.
Excellent mark.
It's a good mark, wasn't it? The little fella, spring-heeled, 43 games, got up over the top, did it pretty well. His kick to centre half forward, spoiled down. Giorgio's there.
Giorgio coming into it in the forward line more as well.
Took the words right out of my mouth. He's really lifted, hasn't he, the last few minutes?
Yes. There's a goal and Mr. Sitter.
A couple of shots at it. Norwood by 17 points. This is round 10. Top playing third. And the Doggies next week play Port Adelaide. This is a good little primer for them. They want to win it, bounce into the Magpie game full of confidence as Harvey gets it at half forward. Good at he is beautifully poised and beautifully balanced as Ross starts to get a bit excited alongside of us. It goes up to the full forward line. Offline, Ross.
Unfortunately, another point. That's 6-13. 19 scoring shots to 11. As I said, they're the ones you'll be looking for at the end of the game.
So Lee kicks into the far side. Has a look at Brian Herrera and finds him.
More than likely we'll come back to centre here. No, Norwood's covered them.
Herrera's been pretty good at centre half forward.
Long kick. Keating.
Balled away from Keating that time, who's just come back onto the ground to replace Eastor. Central's holding on. They need another score. Look like they're about to get it just at the minute. Wakeland, though, inside half-back. Far side, has a look at Bulkwell, who's been quietened. Quick handball back. Central now up into that full forward, half-forward line. Ray off hands. He's back onto the ground now. Replaced David Flood earlier in the game when Flood went off with heavily bleeding nose, and the ball goes out of bounds underneath the scoreboard, which reads Norwood 6-13 and Central are 4-7. And remember that you can get all of the videos of this game or any of the other games that the ABC covers either by trundling into an ABC shop or by calling that number 343-4601 as the siren goes to end what has been a very entertaining and a very good turn, Ross, for Norwood, because they got in front and they went further ahead to be 18 points up at three-quarter time. Back here at the parade, things are just about to get underway in the last term. Eastow goes up against Schaefer. So stay with us throughout this last term on ABC Sport. This game still hangs in the balance. The Bulldogs are just past experts, Ross, at getting back and out of trouble. 18 points the difference. I don't think it's enough for the Redlegs to feel safe by any means.
No, but I'm confident at this stage that Norwood can stay in front to the end. Centrals need to wrest the initiative from Norwood. Let's see what happens.
Well, as I said, they've been pretty good at doing that whenever they've been threatened throughout the year. North Adelaide were way in front out there at Elizabeth Oval going back to the around about round 3. The Bulldogs certainly got out of trouble that day with an 8-goal last term. A little bit different today, it's heavier. Tim Cook gets it on centre wing. Around the body he goes up towards half forward. 2 versus 2. This will be a good little contest. Dan Tokia's there. The cavalry arrives though. It's Robinson dishes it back towards Davey. Changes gears and then goes up towards centre wing. Front spot. Not taken by Norwood. Taken off hands by Saywell. Across the top towards Cotter. It's half spoiled. Cotton. Lost feet. Now it's a turnover. Into the hands of Dickey up towards half forward. The pressure's on Central. If they get one early, the legs, they'll be pretty tough to toss. Row across the top to Eastaw. Tough one for the big man. In fact, it's 2 men. He's got another one. Sumi. He's second. 1 in the third and 1 in the fourth, and they're pretty excited.
Very important goal. Just the character of Centrals now. It's only really good Central sides that can win here. And as I said, we'll test them. Rowe here featuring again. Giorgio featuring. They're the players who've strongly featured in the last quarter and a bit.
Well, that makes it interesting, doesn't it? Some updates from around the grounds. We showed you the three-quarter time scores before. That's around the ground, right? That's last night. In fact, it's, I beg your pardon, today's game. Victoria beating the Allies in a game that we'll have a discussion about after our game here from the parade. 2.5 minutes have gone in the final term. 7-13 to 4-7. Dished forward. Miller's there. McIntosh is there. His delivery goes back to Cunningham, around the body. Starting to get a little bit twitchy alongside of me, Ross. Forward it goes. You should be confident at the moment because the margin is clearly in favour by 26 points. In fact, 24 points in favour of the Redlegs. And David, Central needs something and they need it fairly quickly.
Well, Tricky, I don't think they've scored since, late in the second term. So the Norwood defence have done a terrific job. And in that time, the Redleg forwards have added, 4 goals, 8. So clearly, the Redlegs, the last 30 minutes of football or so, have had the upper hand. Potter stripped of the ball by Tyson, feeds it off to Harvey. Around the corner he goes, and Hicks marks on the last line of defence. Looks to bring a grandstand side, does so successfully. Cotton's the target. Dickey marked it. Well, what a beaut mark that was for the Redlegs. Not sure that Stevie Wright would be all that happy with the kick by Hicks in the finish. Got a fair bit of height on him. He needed to, just to clear the man on the mark. And Dickey, 45 metres out. Very slight angle, certainly will probably give it a shake.
It seems to be a good long kick, David. Pulled that one.
The distance, didn't he? He made the distance all right, but dragged it across to the left.
I think the other player a player we haven't mentioned as being a strong contributor for Norwood in this since half-time has been Cunningham, number 16.
He was overlooked in the state squad. Well, he wasn't allowed to be picked in the state squad, of course. as the Scotty Lee kick goes towards Schaefer. Miller marks it, so the Redlegs growing a leg, so to speak.
Exactly. You called the you called the team lifting goal earlier on.
Yes, Cunningham just finished off great teamwork. They fought hard for it. When you do that, often you just sense that today's going to be your day. Cotter handballs it away to Gurdon. Gurdon was gang tackled. The loose ball falls to Cunningham. The man you said has been instrumental. He's been quite terrific, hasn't he? Getting through where traffic was Toomey. Feeds it off now to Cunningham. Sells the dummy, straightens up, and bang, he's got it. He likes it too, doesn't he? That's his second.
Cunningham's getting stronger and stronger. In the first half, every time Norwood went near the ball, they were under pressure. And after the team lifting goal early in the third quarter, things have reversed. Every time Centrals get the ball, they're under pressure.
So 8 goals, 14, the Redlegs, 4 goals, 7. Look at that, a blowout. 31 points now, the margin, if you don't mind. And the Bulldogs have got some work to do. And you suspect that the Redlegs fully pumped. Well, we mentioned, Ross, before half-time that they weren't playing well, but they were within 8 points at half-time. It was a pretty good sign.
Correct.
It exploded in the third quarter.
I think that Centrals were getting the ball away from centre earlier on, but in the second half, Norwood's Rovers and Ruck Rovers have come strongly back into it. You haven't seen players like Green and on the half-forward line and Saywell in this quarter, just in the last quarter and a half, because the ball's just not getting down there.
Well, Robinson's tightened up at centre-half back. He was well beaten at full-back early. Bassett's gone from full forward or a forward pocket where he was struggling into defence and has done pretty well shutting Green down.
I think it's, you look to Rowe and Cunningham, who've got a lot of the ball coming out of that centre since half-time. Look at Rowe there working. Norwood have dropped McIntosh down the forward pocket here now.
30-year-old Stephen Rowe has had a pretty big impact on this game. Eastow, I thought he might have just grabbed the Central District player to get him out of the way. It's going to be taken by Balkwill. And Andrew Balkwill, whose competition early in the game was excellent, has died out of it somewhat.
Centrals are going to need to do something very soon.
Like kick a goal, I'd say. That's probably what they're looking for.
What's happening behind the goals there?
Somebody's letting off a flare.
We've got a flare.
Just got a feeling that I was somewhere in Leeds or Liverpool or somewhere.
It's a beautiful kick.
Nice looking kick right up towards the full forward line. Off hands, nothing going, and into that orange smoke goes the footy.
That's a first. I haven't seen that before in South Australian football.
I must say, I hope I never see it again.
No, it's not great, is it? I think it's a little more than a can of Fanta that's exploded.
It does remind you of the British soccer, doesn't it?
A bad aspect of British soccer.
Jerry Dantock is about to bring it back into play. The real stuff is the footy. From a little bit of sludge now in the goal square, he goes far and wide to the half-back flank here at the Parade. They turn it over.
Again, the Centrals player picked it up and he was under immediate pressure.
Gave it back very quickly, didn't he? Stephen Rowe skims it along the ground. He's going to get a free kick, or somebody's going to get a free kick. It's a doggy.
Someone...
Tim Cook.
Was shepherded off the ball.
Put a hand across the shoulder. We've got 8-14 to 4-8. David, you mentioned before about the goals for Central. The last one came with David Flood at the 8-minute mark of the second term. So Tim Cook, if anybody can kick a goal from a tight angle, it's this little bloke, the little cookie monster, from right tucked on the boundary.
Not a bad
launches himself at it, and he's got it. Just the tonic, isn't it? 8-14, they get a little bit back with Cookie's first goal. The Doggies are 5-8, 8 minutes into the last quarter.
Not a bad spot to kick a goal from, with the breeze blowing straight down the ground. He set it up out in front of goals, and the wind did the rest.
Tim Cook, he can kick some great goals. Kicked a number of them over his career so far. 70 goals in 60 games.
So 38 plays 62. The Dogs claw back. The Redlegs enjoy a beautiful lead.
The next goal will be important, though.
24-point lead, Schaefer. Thumps it to ground. Great tackle, Potter. On the field, he started on the bench, fellas, and we were told he had bruised ribs. I don't think bruised ribs would keep him out for a couple of games.
I think there might be a break in them, to be honest.
I think a crack at them.
I think the next goal will either put Centrals away or give them the feeling that they can still do something, still win here.
Comments Ross Dillon, former Norwood great. Girdham works hard for the ball, feeds it back to Harada. Harada, well, check sides that one off the right boot, a high ball. It's a hard one to mark at centre half forward. McGowan did pretty well to make a contest of it. Jimmy White crashes through. Davey creates the contest, did it superbly. Now Dan Tokia, back it goes to Donald Dickey. A hurried kick, a long, low one. Harada front position, pushed off it by Miller. Good strength by the big man. This is Cotton around the corner, didn't look, and it hits Dickey right on the chest.
I think Dickey's been a pretty good contributor all day. And
he's a good player, Ross, you're quite right. We've seen him a few times this year.
He's a free player.
A spare one is Growden. Quite right.
Reed on a strong lead. He'll go over the top. No.
Going to be ignored. Ross, did you get this excited when you played? You're supposed to stay calm and relaxed. And way up over the top goes a Norwood player. And Scott Lee surely is going to take this one.
Was one of the no marks of the year, you think?
Well, it was the fly of the year. He didn't get anywhere near the ball.
I think Scott Lee was very unfair. He didn't walk forward.
Looked like ballet dancing where they throw the ballerina in the air. He was right up there. The Potter kick to midfield. Cook on the outer side. Now, this is where they're falling down, Centrals. They've gone back, they've taken their kick, and in previous games we've seen them, they've just been motion. They've grabbed the ball and gone, and today you just suspect that they're a little stilted, and I think Stevie Wright will be having a look at that, where they just haven't got the ball and gone. They've gone back and grandstanded a little.
I think that before they had another player going downfield, and that player's not there now.
They don't seem to be working quite as hard, do they?
Borkwell over the top of it, shovels it out the back door. Saywell had it kicked out from his hands, and Rowe was there yet again.
He's working very hard, and he'll make it, as long as he does that, he'll make it very hard for Centrals to win.
11 minutes have gone in the last term. A couple in the crowd there enjoying a beverage. Laid down, not quite taken though. Thing clean in there until Giorgio gets hold of it, dishes it back to Davey. He gives it back to Giorgio Armani, and his kick goes to centre wing. Big spoil away by Harada. First versus third. Central went into this game at 7-1. And Norwood went in with 5-3. Called him Giorgio Armani. His name's John Giorgio, of course. He's been a pretty good player, Ross, since about halfway through the third term when he really started to get in amongst the action.
Correct. But I think Centrals are making their big effort here. They're attempting to lift their rate. But they'll need a goal right now.
Port Adelaide defeated the ACT by 32 points, and the ACT been training for 7 weeks for that match against Port Adelaide. So I'm sure they'll be disappointed with their performance in that game in Canberra today.
Good effort by Port, though, isn't it? Good effort by Port.
Oh, yes. I think you'll find that Port will be always competitive no matter what competition they play in.
I wonder who coached them today, David.
Johnny Cale did, I can tell you that for sure.
They wouldn't have let go of the reins at all today?
Nope. Toomey. We've still got the job for another week or so, Triggy, I'm sure of that.
You can be 100% sure of that. He wouldn't have allowed anything to happen.
Now, this is Laird. Look at the tackling by the Redlegs. It's been a feature, hasn't it?
Free play here.
Out in a row. Rose got support from Tyson on the right boot. 50 out and closing. Drills it long and low. Look at that kick. Tyson gets his first. What a ripper that was. And if Ross Dillon's right, he can close the door on the Bulldogs.
I think so. Centrals are making a big run at it. But Scott Lee made an error there at half-back. Norwood capitalised. Very nice goal by Tyson on the run.
So the challenge is with the Dogs now. Much jubilation in the crowd as James Tyson gets his first from 3 attempts.
Stephen Rowe again featured in the play.
13 minutes gone, 9-14 to 5-8. I know it's a bit slippery, but 5 goals is a bit thin from the Bulldogs. And they're working hard as Dickey, and alongside him is Girdham and McIntosh. And how often have we seen that here at the parade with Macca? Mr. McIntosh getting up last. There is the great man, the 94 and 95 Magarey medalist. Most experienced player on the park with 329 games.
There was a player, Green, who was very influential earlier. Seems to have dropped out of the game.
This is not on his own though, Ross.
No, it's probably particularly in the forward line because the ball's just not getting down there.
Free kick again. The Redlegs are going to get it. Dan Toki has got the footy, gives it back to Bowman. They've worked well in tandem today. Bowman sweeps a handball out to where Dale Fleming would often be. Of course, Fleming's watching today. We saw him earlier in the day, and he's got a very nasty facial injury. That was Daniels who got it down. Central work it out. Series of players, Wind and Girdham, got it towards Laird. They're breaking down, aren't they? Dickey streaming out of that half-back line up towards half-forward. Miller, beautiful mark.
Strength. They've probably equalised themselves, he and Hereda, in this last quarter. Here's another goal coming up here. No, good tackle by Centrals. Jim Wind.
Centrals have only kicked, Ross, under 100 points twice this year. The
Right.
opening match where they kicked 87 and were beaten by Norwood. Second match where they kicked 57 points and beat Port Adelaide, who only got 30. So this is a great effort by the Norwood defence, particularly, to keep them down under 40 points. And we're midway through the final term.
David, I think you can relate some of this. The big story early in the week was the Crows at Footscray. And as I said, it takes a very good Central side to win at Norwood, and it takes a very good Norwood side to win at Centrals. This game away, it's just like the Crows going to Melbourne. They find it equally difficult to win at each other's grounds.
The Eagles and West were even all day, but West had blown out to 30 points. Victoria defeated the Allies by 53 points, and some would say that it's about time that we got back South Australia and Victoria. Coming up, North and Glenelg. That's a bit of a contest. Important game for both clubs.
And we're also going to be talking about the State of Origin game tomorrow between South Australia and Western Australia. A lot of talk about Western Australia's difficulties, but they'll be very competitive. I can guarantee you of that as Tyson emerges from the pack, gets his kick forward. Miller is there once again, spoils it down. The Dogs have two. One is Lee and one is Hereda. Scott Lee takes it, gets absolutely thumped. Laird sneaks a handball through, didn't carry far enough, and Amani Giorgio gets it and does pretty well.
And has got two players here, and is going to beautiful kick,
quite
beautiful
right.
kick, and has got another spare player.
Clements, the Dogs have just stopped a bit. Short pass, yes or no? Thought about it. Cunningham's the spare player. I think Scott Lee's given up on him.
Cunningham and Clements were 30 yards free and Toomey.
Let's say, David, he'd need to kick it.
Oh, he'd have to kick it.
Clements.
I think he has.
Oh, he's bent that sideways. A savage in-swinger. And a bit of pushing and shoving going on, but who's having the last laugh?
Oh, a bit more.
The guy's dressed in red and blue.
But as I said, in that third quarter, I thought that was the quarter that the game could be won and lost. Even though that windsock is still horizontal and there's a 3-goal breeze to Centrals, Norwood have gone on with it.
John Cunningham just pointed to the scoreboard to Scotty Lee, and the agitator wouldn't have liked that at all. As back in the middle, 10-14. Cunningham with a couple, by the way. Toomey a couple. He's been pretty good. 74 plays 38 as we go back to the centre. Cotton feeds it off to Potter around the corner. The kick was smothered.
Rowie.
First man there, Rowie. Yep, he's there. Davey flicks it out to him. There's a free kick, and it's coming back. Umpire says it's going to Davey. He's being held, said the umpire.
Roger Girdham held onto him.
Right, thanks, Tricky.
Davey's been good off the half-back flank since half-time.
He really has made a difference, Ross. He's given them just a bit of spirit. Eastow around the corner he goes. Cunningham's good with a couple of goals, particularly second half, taken high. That's a free. Now, I thought just for a moment they're going to allow the advantage, but it's not. It's coming back.
But wherever you look around the ball, look at the number of Norwood players around the ball now. In the first half, it was exactly the opposite.
Robert Schaefer's in a bit of trouble back in the middle of the ground as Eastow comes off. And Aaron Keating comes on.
So Cunningham will kick. I'm not sure that the distance with a wet ball late in the game is his for the taking. I think he'll lob it right in the square. That's exactly what he's done. It's just falling short. Underneath that one, Reid couldn't mark it, but it's pushed across the line and out of play.
Norwood have lifted the work rate dramatically. It just doesn't relate to the way they're getting the ball out of centre in the first half.
Conway comes on for Schaefer. So this will be a very dirty day for the Dogs if Schaefer's badly hurt, because he's been dynamic for them this year. McIntosh, speaking of a dynamo, gets it to Giorgio. To the full forward line. The pressure's on back there. Damien Hicks is up to it this time. Hereda. The numbers are there, though. Well done by Stephen Rowe. Wasn't that sneaky? A good smother, though. Taken by Potter. Not taken by Potter. Correction. Out it comes. Oh, gee, the player was free. So happily for the Bulldogs, they've got a free kick.
As you say, I think those backs of the full back line of Centrals has held pretty well.
Down it comes towards Robinson. Dickey had a player at the back, decided to look at the goals instead, and he ran into a wall of Central District players. Out the back goes Stephen Rowe. Nothing happening though. The bounce down will come from the umpire. Not far from time on. 19 and a bit minutes have gone. 10-14.
And Central, you talked to Ross about the away games. They play Norwood here today, Port at Alberton, North Adelaide at Prospect, and then West Adelaide. So their next 3 games are away games. They'll really need to just lift a notch or two.
Yes, they seem to lift against Port. Yes, they always seem to play well against Port.
Bassett at the back door. He didn't get any support, but he was good enough just to get clear in the finish and give it off to McIntosh, running deep from attack to defence. Now Keating's calling for it just inside the boundary line, but Macca decides to switch it. Concedes ground. You won't see that too often from Macca. Out to Daniels. Now they need Grouden to make some ground. Back it comes to Davey. Couldn't get there. The kick just didn't quite hit its target. Now Jimmy Wine struggling for fitness today, but they'll need him back in a week or two, just at his best. Well done, Daniels.
Excellent work by Daniels there. Has played well today, I think, Daniels. Early in the first half, or in the first half when Norwood were under pressure, I thought he played well.
Ross, we might just get you to have a look at who you think your best players are today, and in just a moment or two we'll ask you to go through them for us.
Stephen Daniels, one of the players who largely and widely tipped to play for Port Adelaide in the AFL next year. Probably one of the players who will be picked in their SANFL contingent, taken by Davey. It's pretty tough to get through that lot though. Stephen Rowe was good enough to do so. Gets it back to Bowman, and Bowman's kick in what's left of the sunshine here. We haven't had much of it throughout the day. To centre wing. Oh, Potter got one, a tough one from McIntosh. I think Macca would be preying on those ribs, do you? Borkwill kicked it up towards the full forward line. Across the top again goes Daniels. Norwood there, as Ross Dillon mentioned a moment ago, in numbers and doing it pretty well. Bowman got it from Dan Tokyo, and that's happened more than once or twice today. Borkwill gets the fist into it. The line is looming, and it wins this contest. 10-14 to 5-9.
Well, who would have thought that 6-goal drubbing was on the cards here today? Central's the premier side of the competition in terms of style and form in the first half of the season. Norwood, who have been at their best, fantastic, and at their worst, quite ordinary. And Girdham thumps it out. Davey over the top of the ball. Pirouettes around, tries to get it clear. Jimmy Wine just smothers him.
Well, one of the interesting things, David, is that Central have been 25 goals better than the next best side so far over the first eight rounds.
Yep.
25 goals better than Port Adelaide. Their percentage is enormous, but today they've been held to just 5 goals.
Well, Flood hasn't got amongst it. Conway really hasn't got amongst it. And their Rovers haven't really given them anything.
Well, that's more the point, isn't it? It's more a supply factor. Round the body, Clements takes it, breaks. Really changed the gear, didn't he? Then kicked the ball higher than it was long. Scott Lee's under it. Push out to Reed. Nothing going. I think he was appealing for a free kick. That's not going to do the trick as Cotter gets it to Girdham. He's been outnumbered and outweighed, I guess, in the last half, Roger Girdham. Keeps on battling, though, as he always does. Ray takes it.
Well played.
It's a little laconic, isn't he? Round the body, not taken. Giorgio.
Davies played well off that half-back flank in this last half.
It's been a good move, hasn't it? Because he's been playing as a follower, had a rover for the most part of his time at Norwood, but they've just switched him to half-back, and he's done pretty well. Scott Lee, short pass. Oh, and a crunching tackle is put on Cook. In fact, it's Wine. Have to stand your ground from time to time, though, don't you?
Yes. Let's see, he's going to have a shot. Long ball from there. Lands in the goal square.
Tough one with the torpedo punt. Goes off hands and slides towards the line.
Otherwise described as a mongrel punt.
Yes, they are. They're tough ones to take. As I said, a good crowd in. And most of those there with the red and blue scarves will be enjoying this round 10 outing. Sees the Redlegs in front by 35 points in the dying stages of the game. Coming up, of course, we're going to Prospect Oval, where the game was tough and tight. Really developed a bit of a tradition over the last few years. North Adelaide and Glenelg. We'll have that game for you shortly.
Right, North Adelaide always difficult to beat at home.
Well, you're right. This concept of playing at home has been a great advantage, I guess, for everybody except the Eagles today. But if you were to pick the home sides, you'd be on a winner most times. This is Cotton, and they get a belated and late goal. Jared Cott puts through his first for the day. 10-14, they get a little bit back, the Bulldogs. 6-10, 24 minutes have gone.
Just run through some of the players who I think for Norwood who've performed better today. I think Cunningham, Rowe, Dickey, Giorgio, Daniels, and particularly Davey in the second half off a half-back flank have done very well.
And some of those updates that I was talking about earlier. Victoria defeated the Allies by 53 points. Not surprising. The sports bet today, Victoria was starting at 1-5 on. And Port Adelaide defeated the ACT. In Canberra today, coming up as I mentioned, North Adelaide are playing Glenelg. And 10-14 back here at the Parade, plays 6-10. We've played 24.5 minutes. Plenty of doggies around the ball this time as Cook gets it around the body. Far side, not quite taken by Vardy, who's been pretty disappointing in the last half, to be honest.
Did well in the first half, and another one of those that's pretty well unsighted in the second.
Yes, like a few of his mates, they've gone missing.
Well, you couldn't really criticise their forward line because they just haven't been able to get the ball down there. It's, you know, the likes of Sowell and Green, etc. They've just been starved of opportunities.
Ross Dillon sitting alongside of me, and if you've just joined us, we had a look at Ross's distinguished career a little earlier. 1975, best and fairest here at the Parade. Sturt are doing the job still on South Adelaide. They're having a wretched year, the Panthers. West Adelaide have travelled to Woodville, and they're doing well by the tune, or to the tune of about 34 points. I'm not sure what's happening with that Glenelg North Adelaide game. Stay with us, we'll have a look at it sometime shortly. The sting has gone out of it. We'll be having a look at the game, as I say, from Prospect. In the dying stages of that, it was close throughout. And we look forward to catching up with Mark Nail and Alan Stewart in just a moment. Todd Davies sees it to the line. Here at the Parade, 10-14 to 6-10. It's a pretty miserable scoreline for the Bulldogs.
Central's getting the ball forward more in the last 5 minutes, mainly because of strong ruck work.
Giorgio, bottom of the pack. He's one player who's lifted enormously. I thought Cunningham got one high. Umpire's just letting it go now. A bit of tough work off the footy as Davey gets it forward. Look at the numbers. They've got Cunningham. There's one in the middle as well if he wants to use him. Elects not to use Toomey, takes a couple of bounces up the flank and then puts it in towards the full forward line. Perhaps a little short of that at half forward. And Reid has taken a good one.
It's an excellent full forwards mark.
Too far out.
Norwood need players continuing down the ground. They just have, but
well done,
he was set up.
Yes, McGowan spoiled it away. It's an ambitious handball from that far away by Laird. Still got it towards Cotter, middle of the ground. The numbers are there and Herrera takes it. Streaming through the midfield. There's a few spaces now. 2 versus 1 down there. A tough requirement for Michael Wakeland. Bowman. Ooh. A little throw, wasn't it, Ross? Dantokia. Toomey and the bell has gone. So a good win for Norwood on their home track. At the end of the day, they were down by 8 points at half-time and they've fought back handsomely to win by 28.